And right now we want to go live to Shorewood for a news conference outside Shorewood PD.
Earlier this afternoon, at approximately 2:45 this afternoon, we received a phone call of a possible domestic violence in the apartment building in the 3500 block of Oakland Avenue. Upon arrival, our officers heard noise in the apartment, but they would not answer the door. Since we take domestic violence very seriously, we cordoned off the area to try and get into the apartment to determine what exactly is going on in the apartment. They would not answer the door. We asked for assistance, calling a SMART response. A SMART response is a suburban mutual aid response, where we were able to get 10 squads here in the village to block off the streets so we can make sure that the streets stay safe for the residents of Shorewood and to keep the officers safe from maybe getting hit by a car. We asked the Sheriff's Department to assist us in the entry to the apartment because, again, we don't know on this domestic situation exactly what's going on. Right now, we are just evaluating the situation. They are not making contact with us. We are trying to make contact with the people in the apartment. If the people in the apartment can hear me, I ask that you just open the door, come out, and let's end this in a very peaceful manner. I really don't have a whole lot more information to give you at this time, but as soon as we get any other information on what's going on in that apartment or how we're going to be able to get into that apartment, we'll be out here and we'll let you know what's going on.
Chief, are you certain there are people inside that apartment?
We are absolutely sure there are people inside that apartment.
So is this a hostage situation?
I wouldn't call it a hostage situation. It's more of a domestic, and if the husband's not letting the wife get out the door, would that be hostage? I'm not sure. At this point, we're not 100% sure exactly what that is, other than we got a call of two people fighting, screaming, hollering, and we can't get in. We can't figure out what's going on. Nobody will come to the door, and we want to make sure everybody's safe. We don't want anything to happen to either person in the apartment.
Have there been other incidents you've responded to at this address recently?
I have been told by the department we have been there at least once before. I don't have that information in front of me, so I can't give you a real update on exactly when.
Is that another domestic situation, though?
I'm not sure.
Do you know if there's a gun involved right now? At
this point, we're not sure of anything. They're not talking. They're not talking to us. We can't get into the apartment. That was not said on the phone, just that they were having issues and arguing and screaming on the phone. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys being here. I do appreciate you guys not showing where our officers are at the scene because we don't need to have our officers' safety at risk. So again, I thank you all. You've been doing a great job with this, and we appreciate it. And as soon as I hear anything, I promise you I'll be back out front and we'll do it again.
Can you just address for the folks who live in the area what they need to be doing? I know obviously it's cordoned off and security is tight. Sure.
That's a good question. What we're doing for the 3500 block of Oakland, we're asking people to stay inside their apartments. We don't want people on the streets because we don't know what's going on inside there. For anybody that's outside the 3500 block of Oakland, there's nothing to see. We're blocking it off. There's no traffic there. There's no people on the street. You're not going to see a whole lot, so please stay away from the area. And as soon as we know something, all the media will have that information, so all the residents will know. But again, we're trying to keep every resident safe here in the village. So again, thank you very much. We'll be back as soon as possible. Thank you.
All right, that's Chief David Banazinski with a... Go ahead, Steve, if you can hear us.
Again, I just want to recap what Chief Banazinski... I have to pull my IFB out. I'm not getting a proper feed here. But Mike and Shannon, Chief Banazinski, just to repeat what he had to say, this is a simple case of some people being inside that apartment above the Harley's men's store over there on Oakland Avenue. The people in that apartment just won't come to the door. So the chief appealed to them. This can all end. This neighborhood that's locked down, this can stop if the people inside that apartment just come to the door. The chief says they are certain there are people inside that apartment, so if they will come to the door, again, that's the one thing the chief says will end all of this.
All right, thank you, Steve. We appreciate that. We also have Annie, who's been on the ground for the last 2.5 hours. I believe she's by phone. No, she's actually live. Hey, Annie.
Hi guys, yeah, we're at the corner of Oakland and Edgewood right now. You can see behind me, this block is really sort of a ghost town. Nobody on the sidewalks, nobody on the street. That was a different case really just a short while ago, but we did have an armored unit going through telling people to get back inside. As you heard in that press conference, they are telling people if they live in this block, stay inside, don't get outside. I do want to show you though, just over to the side here, we do have a lot of people on the corner. They are standing around trying to figure out what is going on here. A lot of these people are residents of this block that haven't been able able to go home yet. They are wondering when they are going to be able to go home. By all accounts, it seems like it might be for a little while now, because you can tell there is still a very heavy presence here. Deputies are directing traffic. During the rush hour, this was absolutely clogged. People very frustrated that they couldn't get around and in some cases couldn't get home. But things do seem to be under control here on the outside of the perimeter. About an hour ago, we were standing on that side of the street. They asked us to move back here, but we have stayed here for this time. So we are on standby as well as we keep an eye on what's happening behind us. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks. Annie Scholes joining us live from the scene about a block and a half south of the actual apartment building. Keller Russell is also standing by live. She's on the opposite end. She's on the north end of the building. Go ahead, Keller.
Yeah, Mike, we are at Newton and Oakland. I can tell you it has been a little bit different here where we are at, much more quiet, just a lot of stillness really around here. Again, the armored truck out here. I told you that within the last few minutes we were aware that the FBI arrived on the scene. I spoke with the building manager a little bit earlier. He had mentioned that the initial call he got on this was that 2 women were being held against their will. But as you heard the police chief say, he wouldn't go that far. He didn't say whether this was considered a hostage situation or not, and wouldn't say whether they thought any guns or explosives were involved. So it makes you wonder what exactly the situation is, and I guess maybe this is just a matter of taking things to the ultimate level of safety. Mike and Shannon.
Well, better safe than sorry in a situation like this, and Chief Banazinski making actually a direct appeal to the people inside, saying, listen, we can end this very peacefully. All you have to do is open the door, let police in, we'll talk about it, get it straightened out without anybody else getting hurt.
Now, we are going to go back to Dateline. If it warrants for us to break in, we will bring you developments in this breaking news situation on North Oakland Avenue.